Here's your wrestling news for September 17th, 2022, and we're kicking off today with Smackdown as a fatal four-way match took place to determine the next challengers for the Usos, but the match hardly went as originally planned. Before the match, the Viking Raiders were pulled from the match, and so were the Street Profits, which was reportedly done out of necessity. A tenured member of the creative team informed Ringside News that there was something being filmed involving Montez and Bianca that resulted in Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins to be pulled from the match. It was said that whatever Ford and his wife were filming, it was too important not to finalize, and that the changes to the originally planned Fatal 4-Way was done out of necessity. With so many changes, the final match saw Ridge Holland and Butch defeat the New Day, Hit Row, and Imperium to earn a tag title match against the Usos, and perhaps it'll be the Brawling Brutes who knock off the dominant tag team champions. Whatever the results, the Street Profits had been scheduled to be on SmackDown, and while WWE did make the call to remove them, it was hardly a decision they wanted to make. SmackDown also saw another appearance by Braun Strowman, who has strangely set his sights on Alpha Academy since returning to WWE. During his Raw return, the team of Chad Gable and Otis were one of many to be demolished by the former Universal Champion, who has had the upper hand consistently against the former Raw Tag Champions. Therefore, it makes little sense for Braun Strowman to feud with a duo who have hardly been presented as a credible threat to him, and if this is leading to a match, it's almost certain that Strowman will win. Perhaps WWE should have capitalized on Braun's monumental return and instantly booked him in a big-ticket feud, but instead, expect more weeks of Strowman destroying Otis and Gable before a high-profile match where he destroys them again. Now, even without Roman Reigns in the arena, the Tribal Chief was the focus of last night's SmackDown, which saw a guest appearance by Logan Paul. Days after hosting Reigns on his Impulsive podcast, Paul made it clear that he wants to face the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, urging Reigns to show up at a Nevada press conference that'll happen later today. Paul's appearance on SmackDown was interrupted, though, by the returning Paul Heyman, who brought the entire bloodline, sans Reigns, with him. Heyman tried to reason with Paul to not have the title match, and so did Sami Zayn, but that only earned the honorary Uso a right hand from the YouTube sensation. Odds are that Reigns vs. Paul will be the main event for Crown Jewel in November, and the Tribal Chief is scheduled for today's press conference. Logan Paul was certainly impressive in his outings at WrestleMania 38 and SummerSlam, so there's no doubt that he and Reigns could have a solid match, one that could be confirmed by the end of today. Roman Reigns will be at the press conference later today, and fans will also get to catch the head of the table next week. It's been announced that the undisputed WWE Universal Champion will be on SmackDown inside Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City next Friday, likely to carry on his feud with Logan Paul. Braun Strowman will square off against Otis of the Alpha Academy next Friday on SmackDown, while the Usos will put their tag titles on the line against the Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland and Butch. Next week's SmackDown is shaping up to be a huge show, and it'll be interesting to hear what Roman Reigns will have to say ahead of Crown Jewel. More from SmackDown as well. This week's show was a packed 2 hours. The fans in Anaheim got an extra treat after the show. Once the cameras stopped rolling, Ronda Rousey appeared to speak to the crowd about the women's revolution, but was interrupted and told to shut up by Natalya. The Queen of Hearts spoke about being the self-professed best of all time, and when the two were in the ring, it was Natalya who attacked Rousey, getting a cheap shot on the former UFC fighter. It wasn't long until Rousey turned the tables, taking down Natalya and locking her in an armbar before celebrating with the fans at ringside. The post-show wasn't done yet, as after that, Raw's United States champion Bobby Lashley retained his title against Austin Theory, who took his sweet time starting the match. Next week, Lashley will defend his title on Raw against Seth Rollins, and the Visionary hopes to make this week's successful title defense the last for the Almighty. Next month, WWE will host their Extreme Rules pay-per-view, the first time the show has been held in October. It had already been confirmed before last night's SmackDown that Women's Champion Liv Morgan would defend against Ronda Rousey at the show, and now things have gone to the next level. Interrupting Rousey's sit-down interview with Kayla Braxton, Morgan talked about her previous encounters with Rousey and said that no matter what she says, Rousey will not respect her. The SmackDown Women's Champion then vowed to earn Rousey's respect by offering to make their title match an Extreme Rules match, an offer that the challenger accepted. While Morgan holds 2 wins over Ronda Rousey, the only woman to do so, these 2 wins have been controversial to say the least. and Rousey promises that it'll be Morgan's funeral when they face off next month. A few weeks ago, reports came out about WWE and Triple H wanting to push Raquel Rodriguez, who has done little but lose since then. After she and Aaliyah dropped their WWE Tag Team Championships to Damage Control on Raw, Rodriguez also lost to Bayley on Smackdown, arguably the wrong call. Bayley is the bigger star and didn't deserve to lose herself, but this loss had nothing but further stalled Raquel Rodriguez's momentum. Post-match, Rodriguez was further taken down a peg by an onslaught by Damage Control, which only ended when Shotzi ran out to make the save. Hopefully, fans will soon see things turn for the former NXT Women's Champion, who needs to avenge the loss soon before setting her sights on bigger things. When Braun Strowman returned to WWE on the September 5th Raw, it came over a year after his release. As he stormed to the ring looking to inflict pain, Strowman's face looked rather emotional, and it's easy to see why. During the latest After the Bell, Strowman talked about his release last year and how tough it was on him. It was really a hard pill to swallow, probably one of the biggest pills I've ever had to swallow in life, but a reality check. It was disheartening to say the least, stepping up at the beginning of the pandemic when other people couldn't come to work, people didn't come to work, not knowing what's going on in the world, and strapping this company on my back and going out there week in and week out, doing everything in my power to get the quality product out so I could take people's minds off the stuff that was going on. I have no hard feelings, business is business, Strowman continued, but noted that he had this feeling of, well, I was just a stray dog, and all of a sudden I was kicked off the porch. All those doubts start to play into yourself because it's a cold call out of nowhere. I was literally making breakfast at 9 a.m. and I got the phone call like, hey, sorry, we have bad news. Due to budget cuts, we're initiating your 90 days and then your contract is going to be terminated. I was just speechless. I think I said thank you and hung up the phone. I was just like, literally, what? Yeah, it definitely sent me to a bad place for a bit, but I definitely know that everything in life happens for a reason. Everything is a test, and I'm a firm believer in God never puts more on your back than you can handle without you breaking, and He just tests my strength once again. Did I falter at times and want to give up? Absolutely. I'd be a liar if I said I didn't. Not only was Strowman's release shocking as he was a former world champion, but he had also been prominently featured that year, having a high-profile WrestleMania feud with Shane McMahon and a WWE title feud mere weeks before being let go. Now the Monster Among Men is back in WWE, which Braun called home in the interview, and we'll have to see what Triple H has in store for him in the coming weeks and months. Now, it's safe to say that AEW has had its share of problems backstage as of late, and not just due to the post-show antics of CM Punk following All Out. Even before the now infamous event, there had been reports of unhappy talent, and we're now learning about a scathing comment made by none other than Kenny Omega. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, during a talent meeting earlier this year, Omega had some tough love for the roster, saying that out of 10 people there, he wouldn't have hired 8 of them. This line got a mixed at best response, with some thinking Omega was joking given that he was looking at his longtime rival Will Ospreay at the time. Others took it as a serious comment by Omega and were deeply hurt by the comment, while also fearing that their jobs could be on the line since the cleaner is an EVP of the company. However Omega meant this bit of tough love, it only added to the conflict within AEW, and we imagine he'll have a different approach when he's back from his ongoing suspension. In April, fans saw the debut of Ezekiel on Monday Night Raw, which, for some reason, Kevin Owens thought was secretly Elias. Ever since Owens powerbombed Ezekiel, though, we've not seen him or his brother, and we've now got an unfortunate update on Elias's younger brother. According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, Ezekiel has been delisted from WWE's internal roster, while Elias has been relisted as of last week. Speaking of Elias, he hasn't competed since July 19, 2021, though he has appeared on camera a handful of times alongside his brother. Why WWE can't have both brothers appear is anyone's guess, as we know that they're two separate people, but it looks like Ezekiel's time on WWE programming has come to an end. We've got some unfortunate news to report now, as Erik of the Viking Raiders is out indefinitely. A few weeks ago, the Raiders took on the New Day, and on Smackdown, Michael Cole confirmed that Erik will be out of action for an indefinite period of time. The Raiders were originally supposed to compete in the Fatal 4-Way Tag match to determine the #1 contenders to the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos, but were not part of last night's match. Now, there's no word on when Erik will be back, though we imagine Ivar's appearance on WWE TV will be small or non-existent without his tag partner, and we're wishing Erik a speedy recovery. We've got an update on Jeff Hardy now, who hasn't been seen in months due to his DUI arrest from June this year. After being arrested by officers for blowing 3 times the legal blood alcohol limit, Jeff has pled not guilty to all charges against him, but his case has received a further delay. Ringside News reports that Hardy's trial court date has been pushed back again and is now scheduled for October 19th. Tony Khan previously said that Jeff wouldn't return to AEW until completion was done, and Jeff has waived his right to a speedy trial. While Khan said he is pleased Hardy has entered rehab, this is his first, last, and only chance with AEW, so he'll be losing his job if he doesn't improve. In another report, it was noted that the arresting officers will be used at the trial, as well as the video evidence from Hardy's arrest shared by TMZ. In that clip, Hardy wasn't exactly cooperative, and in the video, officers can be seen pulling their firearms on the former world champion. If convicted, Hardy could face a maximum 5 years behind bars, and hopefully this October 19th delay will be the last delay before the problematic but popular star stands trial. And we're ending today with Edge, who competed against Dominic Mysterio in the main event of this week's Monday Night Raw and was attacked by all 4 members of the Judgment Day. After the show, it was noted by WWE that the Rated R superstar had suffered a grade 2 MCL sprain in his knee, almost certainly a kayfabe injury, and he won't be out for long. When Ringside News asked around, they said that Edge isn't expected to miss much time and is slated to be back in time for Extreme Rules. Given the fact that WWE's Extreme Rules is October 8th, Edge's hiatus won't be a long one, and expect the Rated R superstar to be hungry for revenge on the entire Judgment Day once he's back on TV. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.